Hello everyone, I am Riza Iguyay, a third-year college student taking a Bachelor of Secondary Education major in English at Agusan del Sur College Incorporated. Today I will be discussing to you a short story entitled The Wedding Dance by Amador T. Daguio. But before that, let us know first who is Amador. So, he was born on January 8, 1912 in Lawag, Ilocos Norte, Philippines, and died on April 26, 1966 in Manila, Philippines. He is a Filipino poet, short story writer, novelist, teacher, and a government writer. He finished his high school in Baguio City and took a Bachelor of Philosophy in English at the University of the Philippines in 1934. And then he had his master's degree in English in Stanford University, California, USA in 1952. His writing styles focused on rural life, love, sacrifice, and Filipino customs. He used simple yet emotional language. One of his famous works is The Wedding Dance, which is I will be discussing to you later part on this video. He also has a various poems such as Man of Earth and Hymn to Taal. And now, let's proceed to the story. Yes, the summary of the story. Okay, so let us have first the background of the story or the reasons why Amador wrote this short story. Okay, so he wrote this story to show the tension between love and cultural traditions, to preserve Filipino tribal customs and reflect on human struggles of sacrifice and loss. So that is why he wrote this short story. Now, let me read you first the summary of this story. Okay. In a remote mountain village in the Philippines, Awiyao is remarrying to have children as his first wife, Lumnay, has been unable to bear any after years of marriage. While the wedding dance for his new bride, Madan, is taking place, Awiyao visits Lumnay to return the beads she once wore, which is a symbol of their marriage. The two share a heartfelt conversation recalling their love and life together. Lumnay is deeply hurt and refuses to join the celebration, unable to accept their separation. Despite loving her, Awiyao leaves to fulfill his duty to the tribe. Alone, Lumnay walks toward the fields under the moonlight, holding the beads as a reminder of their love and her quiet dignity. To further understand, let me discuss the plot of this story. Let us have first the setting and context of the story. Okay, so the setting of this story or the story happened at the remote mountain village in the Philippines. And the context of this story is that in their culture, a husband can remarry if his wife cannot bear children. So, let me introduce to you the characters of the story. So, we have Awiyao. So, he is the husband who follows tradition to have children. Second is we have Lumnay, the first wife of Awiyao and a heartbroken but dignified woman. And then the last is we have Madan, Awiyao's new wife. Okay. Next is the rising action of the story. So, when Awio visits Lumnai to invite her to the wedding dance and return the beads as a symbol of their marriage, that is rising action of the story. And then the climax of the story is when Lumnai begs Awiyao not to leave her, saying that their love should be enough. But Awiyao insists that he must follow their tradition and have children for the tribe. So that is the climax of the story. Next is the falling action of the story. Okay. It is when Awiyao returns to the wedding celebration, leaving Lumnai alone with her grief and beads. Okay, the resolution. Lumnai walks toward the field under the moonlight, silently carrying her pain but also her strength and dignity. So that is how the story ends. Okay? Okay, now let's proceed, or let's identify what is the conflict in the story. Okay, so in the conflict, there are two conflict in the story. The external conflict and the internal conflict. When we say external conflict, this is a man versus society or a man versus tradition in the story. Okay, the external conflict is that Awiyao and Lumnai are forced apart because their tribe's tradition requires a man to have children. Since Lumnai cannot bear children, Awiyao must marry another woman to fulfill this cultural duty. So that is why, or that is the external conflict in the story. Next is the internal conflict, or the man versus self. Okay. In the story, Lumnai struggles with deep emotional pain, torn between her love and Awiyao, or for Awiyao, and the reality that she must let him go. Awiyao too loves Lumnai but feels compelled to obey tradition. Okay, so it is not easy for them, no, um to be separated. It is because they love each other. No, they love each other. That is why it is very painful. So that is the internal conflict in the story. The theme of the story are tradition versus love. So when we say tradition versus love, it is because they have, or they sacrificed their love in order to follow their tradition, right? As you can, or as what I had explained earlier, that they struggled, or they sacrifice their love just, or to follow their tradition, no? Next is the sacrifice in relationships. So of course, in order to follow their tradition, they have, or they should sacrifice their relationship, which is not easy to give up. Yes, it is really true that it is not easy to give up for them. Next is the cultural pressure on women. So why is there a cultural pressure on women in the theme? It is because not all women in their tradition can bear child. Just like Lumnai, she cannot bear child. So she get pressure, or yes, something like that. It is because she will question herself why she couldn't bear a child, right? So that is why it is included in the theme. And I believe you understand something what I am discussing and saying here in the video. Thank you for listening, everyone. May you have a great day ahead.